The stories shared on the Busy Baddies are submitted by real listeners and are intended for entertainment and discussion purposes only. To protect from the privacy of everyone involved, all names, companies, and identifying details have been changed or omitted. Any resemblance to real people or events are purely coincidental. We believe in keeping it real while keeping it respectful. Thanks for sharing your experiences and for trusting us to spill the tea with care.
When the lights go low and the real work begins, this is the Busy Baddies.
Where assistants come uncensored, the stories get spicy, and the corporate filter, Control Alt Delete.
I'm Michelle, EA to the CEO of a Fortune 150 company,
And I'm Mel, former C Suite EA turned admin rebel.
and we're here to talk about the real stuff, the stories that never make it to the all hands meeting. Hey, baddies, welcome back. Before we get started, we just want to tell you how blown away we were last week with our live launch. You showed up, and we could not be more excited to sit down each week and do this with you all. I mean, Melissa, it was incredible.
It was crazy. I mean, we knew there was like a calling for this, but wow.
Now, let's get to where real ones talk real things. Today, we're talking about something that doesn't get enough love in the EA world, the power of team.
Because somewhere along the way, a lot of us got the message that being an assistant meant flying solo, protecting your turf, your executive, and your spreadsheet formulas with your life. But let's be real. This isn't Survivor Admin Island. From toxic comparisons to admin adventures, we're flipping the script.
This one's for every assistant who's ready to go from me to we. Let's get into it. All right, so let's unpack it. Why do we think so many EAs feel like they're in competition with each other?
Well, I think it has to do with the scarcity mindset. You've got one seat at the table, one high profile executive, one promotion, and it can feel as if, someone's getting recognized that means you won't.
Yeah, no, and I think for me, it feels a lot of dependent on where you are in
Mhm.
your EA journey.
Mhm.
Speaking for myself, I felt very much in a competition when I was more so part of a team and not leading a team,
Mhm.
to where we were all kind of proving our worth to each other.
Sure.
And I think as I've kind of gone through my growth and I guess my seat at the table currently, it changed my mindset
Mhm.
of my team's only as good as I am.
Mhm.
And if I'm not helping my team, what does that say about me?
Yeah, exactly. And I think sometimes, maybe not intentionally, but you know, executives sometimes will actually, not on purpose, pit us against each other. They'll ask the questions, maybe not in a mid-year review or just in a conversation of, well, why can't you be more like so and so? Or, when you were gone, this person covered for me. Like, I really like the way that they did X. And I
Yeah.
think some people take that as, I'm not doing it good enough, or, where did I miss the mark?
Yeah, I mean, and I know we'll get into this on another topic or another show down the road, but when you said that, people covering for
Sure.
you,
Hmm.
I mean, that's also one of those gatekeeping things
Hmm.
of I don't want my leader to work with another admin just for my safety.
Sure.
Maybe they are going to see the way somebody else
Hmm.
works, and maybe it's intriguing.
And it's going to shine a light on my flaws,
Yeah,
right?
right, right. Here, when you think you're great or you have this wonderful work relationship. You throw somebody else in the mix, or just somebody doing a favor
Mhm.
because, you had a doctor's appointment that you had to
Yeah.
leave early for, and somebody had to step in, and it's a real thing.
It is. It's kind of like the imposter syndrome,
Yeah,
and it even goes hand in hand with, I think society has made us as women very self-conscious and wanting to pit against each other, or I need to live up to this, I need to look like this if I'm in shorts or a swimsuit, or it's
absolutely.
shameful, the way that we've been made to feel about ourselves if we don't look a certain way, if we don't carry ourselves a certain way. And maybe it's the perimenopause, maybe it's being in my mid 40s. But I really just don't give a crap anymore. Like,
Yeah,
I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care what somebody's opinion is. And it's kind of freeing.
yeah, for sure. But we've also been there in our 30s where we feel like we're trying to prove ourselves.
Yes.
Um, and that whole mindset of I have to be the best. I have to be the only one that knows how to do this.
Mhm.
I'm not sharing
Yep.
because it's job security,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, it's just a natural part, I think, of an admin role.
Hmm.
Um, Not saying that's good or bad, but
Sure.
uh, it's very cutthroat.
It is.
And then you get a group of women,
Hmm.
and there's always something,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Just the talking behind people's back, or could you believe so and so did it this way? You just can't help but to not have that competition mindset.
Sure.
And especially as let me see.
Well, and kind of playing on that point, is along the lines of this is more like a call to action. I look at this
Mhm.
episode. Let's do better,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen out there. Let's step up. Let's learn from people. Don't take it personal when you don't know something. Take it as a learning
Yeah.
experience. Don't take it personal. It's not a flaw. It's a tool that you can add to the tool bag.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and before I couldn't think of my thought, I mean, I'm a perfectionist. I
Sure.
think a lot of admins
Mhm.
are naturally perfectionists. And
Yes.
so when you have to come together as a team for the sake of the
Mhm.
team being better, that perfectionist piece of my brain just kicks in,
Mhm.
and I have to step back and say, "No, like this isn't about me, it's about the team."
Mhm.
And that's really hard to do when you're leading a team, especially at the
Sure.
C-suite level.
Mhm.
Everybody's looking up to you,
Mhm.
and I am that role model of how my team should be acting with their teams
Mhm.
and cascading that down. And
Yep.
so it's a lot of pressure to not just stay in my lane and kind of just go on autopilot,
Sure.
you
And
know?
and I think a lot of people in the C-suite realm of being an EA, there's a lot of really strong opinions
Mhm.
that when you're on a team, similar to what I sat on with you, and several other amazing ladies at the company that we work at, just such a great team. But there was some strong opinions, there was some strong personalities, there was, which is great because I think variety is the spice of life, really, and
Yeah.
I think it's the same. We all brought a different perspective, we
Yeah.
all have different experiences. So I think just, really more than anything, the competition comes from, to me, self-consciousness
Mhm.
and maybe where you feel you lack.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think may be the root cause of that, but in my mind, that's what I've always found is I'm either lacking in something or I don't have a lot of confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know, stepping back when, my leader and I started in, the CEO role, it was very big shoes to fill. um, you're completely unintentionally, flipping a team upside down
Mhm.
and taking on that leadership role when you were just a contributor
Mhm.
and you didn't really have to lead anything
Mhm.
or be looked up to in any way. It's a big adjustment.
Sure. Yeah. And it was probably the same thing for your CEO, you know? Here she inherited a well-established team of leaders. Her way is gonna be completely different than the person who was in that role before. So, it's only normal that her dynamics on her team changed, and I think that was very true for our team as EAs.
Yeah,
But, I think, newsflash for anybody out there, but, comparison kills confidence, and
yeah,
it also steals joy.
yeah.
So just try not to be competitive and, look at it as a competitive sport. It's more of a team. So,
Yeah, because at the end of the day, even at the leaders level, no one leader is more important than the other. And I
mm-mm,
guess that's kind of what I started to just have in the back of my mind
mhm,
is I'm not trying to outshine anybody else on the team.
no,
We all have the company's best intentions. We
mhm,
want our leaders to be the best that they can be. We want our team to be the best that they can be as a
yeah,
whole. And as admins, I kind of then started running the team that way
sure,
and kind of leading by example and being somebody that's on a call for calendaring.
mhm,
One of the most tedious things when you have to schedule something with 5 other leaders on the team, I couldn't be the block.
mhm,
I couldn't be the one that just said, "Nope, sorry, it's these 2 times,"
yeah,
and tough. I had to work even harder to be more flexible and all of those things that come with maybe to a fault, to be quite honest,
mhm,
because I knew the past experience, and I just tried to really do things differently
mhm,
because in that or on that team, I knew how it felt
sure,
to feel like you couldn't be the one that you didn't want to be the one that kind of was the nail,
right.
in
The
anybody's
clog in the
side.
wheel. Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah,
So, very early on, I just tried really hard that it wasn't going to be us.
yeah,
A meeting wasn't going to get scheduled because of me,
right.
you know.
Well, and I think that kinda goes hand in hand too with, and this could be a totally different podcast episode, but, that's a great point to call out because I think sometimes when you get into a larger corporation like a Fortune 150 company, it also is a great call out to people of knowing the hierarchy in your company
Yeah.
and being very cognizant of that when you're on a scheduling call and say, "Okay, the CEO, the CFO, whoever it is that's on the call, if their EA is saying they can't do it, then maybe you need to be a little bit more
Yeah.
flexible."
And that's a
You
real
know,
thing.
it is, push the lunch back 30 minutes because they can make 11:30 to 12 work. Trust me. I am the biggest one who gets hangry when I don't get food.
Yeah.
Obviously you guys can't see me over the microphone, but it's very apparent that I love food. But it's not going to kill your boss one time to
Yeah.
not eat lunch at 12 o'clock.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so what happens when we do team up for those who have a team? Um,
Magic.
yeah, I agree.
Absolute magic happens.
Yep.
You get more done. There's more productivity.
Hmm.
Um, there's nobody being that dam, right?
Yep.
Like all barriers are gone,
Hmm.
and we really start working together and running it efficiently.
Hmm.
Our tasks are getting done faster, and the team really turns into
A well-oiled batty machine.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. I
yeah.
mean, we can't do this job
Mm-mm.
alone.
No.
Not to mention, uh, just with being a collaborative
Mhm.
team. I mean, there's as a leadership team, all of the jobs intersect with each other. I
Sure.
mean, if it didn't, we wouldn't be a team.
Mhm.
And, being the admin group, we have to support how that's ran.
Mhm.
And the more open you are and willing to share everything,
Mhm.
it I think for one, it builds a lot of trust in you
Sure.
as the leader.
Yeah. And it's hard to be vulnerable, but you're right. The culture shifts, and honestly, it just feels better. It feels easier. It feels like home. It just to me it is such a booster for, and I think really honestly, I think you gain confidence from other people being
Oh, y
confident. Okay. So shifting the mindset. If you're listening and you're thinking, well, I don't have that kind of team. I don't have a team, or the team that I'm on, it's disconjointed. Nobody speaks to each other. You're right. Michelle and Melissa, it's a competition. My suggestion is to add just a small thing,
yeah.
just something very basic.
Yeah, and when I took over the team, one thing I did consciously, and not to say that was structured, scheduled one-on-one time, but just learning a little bit about everybody.
Mhm.
um, Keeping in mind that this team was a great team before I got there. Obviously, everybody knew their job, so it wasn't any work performance issues, which was really good. It was more so, how do I fit into this team
Mhm.
as the leader?
Yeah.
And something that I had never been before.
Mhm.
So here I am at a C-suite level, being the first leadership job for
Mhm.
myself,
Mhm.
and then leading a team of women that all had more experience than me.
Sure.
And so that was a little, hard to kind of face.
Yeah, but you were put in that role because your stakeholder knew that you were up for the challenge and that
Yeah.
you were good enough, right?
Mhm.
So, but I could see where that would be very, jarring if you have people on the team who have been there 15, 20 years, been with the company for 30.
Yeah.
That's intimidating, but the fact that you have the seat at the table, that's your platform.
Right. Yeah, and so starting small is great. You know, Learn something on a personal level
Mhm.
that you can, kind of start working on that bond
Mhm.
and trust. And, don't forget who you are.
No.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
I work for a leader and company that you bring your authentic self
Mhm.
to work every day. We mentioned it on the last episode, and that helped.
It does. Yeah, for sure. And I think that's a great call out too when you talk about individual time, because I know I am always very intentional for the person that I support, that I set up time with each direct report that they have in order to get to know them. How do I work with them? How do they want to interact with Sharon? Is there been pain points in the leadership in the past?
Hmm.
And just keep that communication open and show the side of care of, we want to make this a pleasant experience.
Yeah,
We want you to enjoy working with us. What can we do better?
exactly.
And I think that when you're that vulnerable and you admit that maybe you could do something better, it kind of helps people open up a little bit more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So and I did see that. I know when you joined the team, and became the leader, obviously not by choice, but by delegation, for who you supported. But the collaboration, the overall general feeling changed of, um, it wasn't, you know, you felt comfortable speaking up, you felt a part of something,
Yeah.
and it just felt way more inclusive.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that also had to do with who or how the leader
Sure.
was also different.
100%.
And again, we worked together a certain way, and
Mhm.
as did, the prior leadership, and we all we all had a great relationship individually
Mhm.
doing our roles. So I don't say any of this to say that my way was the right way and their way was the wrong way. It was just different.
Sure.
And I'm sure many of you, as roles have changed, you can certainly attest to, as leaders change, it changes the culture, the
Mhm.
dynamic, and that's going to happen whether you want it to or not.
Right. So, how do you think it would have been different had you not been a part of the team before and either A came from the outside, because I'm sure there's people out there that that's the situation. They've came new to the company with a person either that they left the previous company with, but how do you feel that that would have been different for you in the seat you're in had you been an outsider coming in and at the top? Like, wow.
Yeah, I feel like it didn't happen. I
Yeah.
feel like in our C-suite roles, especially as the admin, I don't know that I remember a time that an outsider
Mhm.
came in, and I feel like it did happen through COVID, but
Mhm.
you can't compare that.
No,
It's just in its whole own ball game
it
of
is.
COVID,
Mhm.
and we're going to talk about, the C word in a few episodes from now, which
And it's not the four-letter C word.
yes, no, it is not that doggone COVID that,
Right.
here we're still talking about it, but pre-COVID, I don't remember an admin that came in externally
Sure.
to the team.
Yeah.
Um,
So many things changed with COVID. It
yeah,
was how we worked. We went full remote. We took on extra tasks. We found jobs when people were being let go. Like,
yeah,
it was just a literal crazy time to be alive.
yeah. And so back to the question of coming in, I even I mean, when I joined as an admin, I hadn't been at the company very long.
Mhm.
So I feel like my whole story is not the norm
Yeah.
for how other people got to the leadership team.
Yeah.
So,
I think being from the outside, would have its benefits, but also its down points as well, because I
yeah.
think the upside would be you would feel a little bit more entitled to kinda come in with kinda guns loaded and make
Mhm.
things your way, but then also you're kinda the odd man out, and if there's no connection to the top, I mean, it is just gonna disintegrate. It's just
Yeah.
like if, your leadership team isn't seeing their vision, they're not buying into the whole, way they're gonna run things. I mean, ooh.
And I think honestly my leader helped me in that
Mhm,
exact point because
mhm,
I think she was very vocal how great we worked together,
mhm,
how much I helped, and I think that experience that she shared
mhm.
with the other leaders on the team, I think only helped me
Yeah,
because she was kind of I didn't have to prove it, she was doing it for me.
yeah, which that's another episode to come to. That's something that you and I both are really passionate about, is being very careful who you choose to work with, because they can speak on your behalf in rooms that you're not in, and they also set the tone
Yeah.
for the amount of respect that their leaders and the rest of the company has about you. So, that's a great point.
Yep. All right. So, how to build a baddie team culture. One, share, don't gatekeep. Your template, your script, your trick. Someone else needs it. Two, give credit out loud. Brag on each other. Normalize it. It's okay. We're all baddies here. Three, don't hoard recognition. You shine brighter with others beside you. Four, Ask for help. It's not a weakness, it's wisdom. There's a bunch of people out there on Teams, Zoom, you name it, willing to give you the answer. 5, speak up when it's competitive, not collaborative. Sometimes you've got to name the energy to shift it.
Call to action. Baddies build baddies. Let this be your reminder. You don't have to compete to be elite. The best EAs I know, they pull up chairs, they open doors, and they say, hey, come along with me. So this week we challenge you. Do one thing to build up the EA team culture where you are. Send encouragement, share something helpful, stand up for someone who's being overlooked. Because being a busybody isn't about being the only one, it's about being one of many who run the show together.
Okay, baddies, it's tea time. All right, so we want to hear in the comments an example that you have where somebody just wasn't making
Here's for
the
being a team player.
yeah, there was no dream work to the teamwork.
That's right. Yeah, there's no I in team,
Yeah.
right?
Right. So I have an example, and I'll just say that I know for a fact it was no ill intent,
Sure.
that it was all for the good of the cause. So this was a few years ago, and my leader was going on a investor trip and working through all of the logistics, what hotel were we staying at, all that sort of stuff. So I had asked for that information, and the end of the day came, and I packed it up and went home, and didn't think anything of it. When I got on the next morning, I had all of these reservations for hotels,
Dope.
and I could not think of how the heck am I getting. I didn't do that.
Did I sleepwalk?
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
I, do this in my sleep?
Yeah, so this person had went on after hours because it wasn't done when I was at work. So
Only
it
shady shit happens after hours. Am I
yeah,
right? Okay.
right.
All right.
And so they had went on and booked hotels for the trip for my leader. And I was thankful that it was done, but
Sure.
on the flip side, I was like, how in the hell did that happen?
Right. Yeah. And it's hard. So my example is I have worked in a couple roles where my leader has had a chief of staff, and a couple of those times they have been less than stellar, is the way that I will put it.
Yeah. How kind of you.
Yeah. Well, last week, we were talking about the, underwear and all those other things. So, I'm trying to use discretion here. Um, but that's another episode in itself. Like, I love all these ideas that I get for episodes when we're talking about this stuff. But so when you are a good EA, you kind of can be a hybrid chief of staff as well,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So I have worked with some less than stellar chief of staffs who oftentimes will try to steal my thunder on things that we've either collaborated on, I have come up with the idea, they then present it to the leader. But I always love when they have to come back and ask how to execute it because they actually didn't come up with the
any
damn
of it.
idea themselves. So it's like, okay, well, how did that work out for you?
Yeah, you forgot, you left that part out when you
Yes.
were, letting the leader know this great idea.
Yeah, that was not yours, which
Right.
is just keep your mouth shut. But yeah, so we want to hear, drop it in the comments, send it to us on Instagram, even send us an email at thebusybaddies@gmail.com. We would love to hear your stories.
Yeah. Some final words. Teamwork makes the dream work, and sometimes it makes the office a little less chaotic.
Until next time, keep it collaborative, keep it classy, and always keep it bad.
Next week, we're touching on Alone at the Top, the mental load of being the head EA.
That's it for us today, bringing order to corporate chaos.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that follow button.
Yours truly, Melissa
and Michelle,
the
Busy Baddies.